stress would build up if you are not doing things. If you go on doing things, then stress gradually comes down because you don't have much time to be under stress. And I think highlighting the answer in a proper manner also helps, because when you're highlighting, you're not probably letting the examiner read your whole answer, and you're saving your weak points. Don't leave your table for more than 30 minutes to 45 minutes. That's the maximum. If you leave beyond that, then that guilt will go on building in your head. So I think first thing is, don't leave your table for more than 30 to 45 minutes. Within that time, you figure out what you have to do and come back. Except for sleeping. Sleeping obviously has, right? So this is one. So once you are on the table, then the next thing is you have to keep doing things. So you're either revising or you're writing. Revise, write, that's all you do. So if you go on doing this, your mind doesn't get time to think of anything else, right? So time management will happen no matter what you have done in the past, but whatever you do in the next 20 days will have its effect, and you can, at the end of the result cycle, you will come to know, oh, I did these and they did help me, but at least it will help. So just do this, just count for these 20 days. You are in the middle of the battle, you must play this properly. Don't give it up no matter what.
Hello dear aspirants, I am Vishal Salsekar and I welcome you all for this special conversational video regarding UPSC CSE Mains Examination 2024. So as less than 20 days are remaining for the UPSC Mains Examination, I am very sure that you must be facing a lot of doubts and challenges. To discuss all these kind of doubts and to get solution regarding the same, I am joined by Harsh sir, who is the faculty of VisionIAS. Welcome sir.
Thank you.
So sir, as there are roughly 20 days from now onwards remaining for the mains examination, what are the kind of challenges that the aspirants are facing and what may be the probable solution or the strategy for the upcoming 20 days?
So Vishal, as I can understand, like in this last phase of this exam, most of the students who are preparing and going to appear for the mains this year, the challenges that they would be feeling at this stage would be something like, one, whether the syllabus is completed or not. That's the first thing. The second would be they are not able to recall. Next is, how do I frame those answers, framing, and finally completing within the stipulated time. These are the challenges that they face, and all of this also does bring a bit of stress in the process to them, because it's the imbalance of these. So I believe these are the challenges that they face. Now when we talk of how do they overcome these challenges, I think the best way would be that they can't do too much of new content addition at this stage. The best thing to do right now would be to cover up whatever is already done by them, probably spending little time on not getting into the details of it, but the crux of any topic. So they should just try to recall the crux, whether they have the crux of the material with them. When you say crux, it is the theory or any conceptual thing, then whether there are facts with respect to it, whether there are some current examples that they can put, and then are there some diagrams, are there some flowcharts, are there some names which they want to bring in. So that is the content part as far as it goes. Next is how do they create answers around them. So I think if you're not able to do too much of content creation then during the exam, maybe just now you can just create some kind of flowchart in your head, which you can just try to replicate in the exam. The flowchart itself could be replicated. And I think next thing would be completing things on time. So maybe some of your answers you're writing, at length, where you think you are well prepared, but some of the answers you might not find enough time to put the grammar and all. So that's where you can probably cut down on the grammar and other parts and directly, write to the flowchart and whatever. So you can directly put the flowchart, put the names, etc. For example, let's say in the end, you have just 1 minute left with a complete question. Now what do you do in that case? One is you drop it, second is you write some paragraph, third, I believe the best part is that you just draw the flowchart, create those terms, put those examples, within a minute write the whole flowchart. Let the examiner see the flowchart. If he understands, he can give you probably a decent mark, understanding that the student has an understanding, it was only the time because of which he was not able to handle. So I think this is how. And stress management can happen in the process, once you are, because stress would build up if you are not doing things. If you go on doing things, then stress gradually comes down because you don't have much time to be under stress.
Right. And also some amount of stress I think is good for the student.
Some amount of stress is required. If it is not there, then probably you become too much of a free bird.
Exactly. So, sir, as you have pointed a lot of aspects regarding the answer writing in general. So now, sir, my next question to you is, as we are talking regarding revision, a lot of things are common between the answer writing and revision, and answer writing is also one of the way to ensure revision. So how a student should be balancing both the things?
So when it comes to answer writing at this stage, right, there are two ways you can do. One is the formal answer writing, the second is the informal. You're doing more of informal writing, but maybe some of the formal writing is already in the process, like the programs like Abhyaas that we have, right? So some students are already, and I believe most of the students are already writing the formal exam, but do have the habit of writing those informal answers where maybe on a page you are just making the flowchart and you're making the name and term so that you are able to recall, okay, these are the things that I'm going to put. I think it won't take more than a minute in a question, but that will train you to write those answers in a minute, and that will also train you to, recall those terms, which you can later on at during the exam also, the whole structure will come to your mind. So you won't run short of points and you won't go on stretching points. You will know, oh, I already have 15 points to write, so maybe you'll write fast and things will happen. So this way you will be able to complete the paper on time and put everything in the answer. I believe this is the formal and informal part of answer writing that also helps in revision.
So, sir, as you have pointed regarding formal and informal, so one of the way of doing formal answer writing is also assessing oneself through the test series. So, as Abhyaas is currently going on, and I presume a lot of students are already going through this Abhyaas paper, but there may be certain students who might not be appearing for any of the formal tests. So, what they can do in last 20 days?
See, if you have not been able to write any of the formal tests, you can still write a formal test. Maybe you don't get your copy checked. That's a different thing, right? Or maybe you get it checked by somebody else, any colleague of yours, or maybe you discuss. But at least write it down. First, know whether I'm able to complete it. One purpose of writing the test is not getting a feedback on it, but also whether I have the ability to complete it within the stipulated time. So that you can also do at home, right? Just take up all the papers, sit in that schedule and write the papers. So and in the end you can also see, maybe that will help, maybe your friend can assist you, or maybe you missed this point or something. That's good enough.
Right, and I think that this will also ensure certain kind of discipline also, because 9 to 12, 2 to 5.
It will, because you will be utilizing your time. Otherwise, as we discussed, you will be under stress that I'm not doing things.
So, sir, when we talk about answer writing, one of the prominent aspect of answer writing is the quality of answer. And as we have assessed a lot of toppers copies, so we got to know that they are doing certain extra things which in general a general student might not be doing. For example, there may be certain presentation aspect, there may be certain kind of flowchart, as you have already talked about, inclusion of current affairs. So how a student can ensure all these kind of things before going to the examination?
See, this is where that revision part comes in, that you just have to recall, okay, any decent answer has to have a conceptual part, which is the theory, which is the traditional part of the answer. Then there has to be a current affair part to it. Then there is a presentation part to it. So if you know the theory, whatever theory you know, good enough, you just recall. Second, do you have any current affair? So when you're revising your current affair right now, maybe you can just think of that, where will this fit in? Which question will this fit in? So that is another way of understanding where do you fit in your current affairs, right? Then comes your presentation. Now in presentation, you already know the skills. N number of conversations about that have happened. All you have to do is you have to see which I can fit where, and do not do everything everywhere. Just mix and match so that every answer looks slightly different and the examiner is not too much, because you are writing 20 answers. So all the 20 should not exactly be looking the same. Maybe somewhere a flowchart, somewhere a diagram, somewhere some other thing. So those things will help. And I think highlighting the answer in a proper manner also helps, because when you're highlighting, you're not probably letting the examiner read your whole answer, and you're saving your weak points, because you will never highlight your weak points. You will only highlight your strengths. So if he can see the whole highlighted part, he will understand this answer is known to the student. Probably he'll not get into the details, and you are saved from those negative points which were there. So I believe that might help.
Certainly, sir. So I think this may be the strategy to incorporate further value addition in the answer that the student can do. And I think this has to be done before going to the examination.
Yes. I think the ability to do this can be developed right now. It won't take much effort. You just go on putting all these things in different answers and you can see. And maybe highlighting is another thing which, if you feel comfortable, you can incorporate.
Right. So, sir, as there are roughly 20 days remaining for the UPSC Mains examination, and a lot of students might be facing certain kind of difficulty in order to even managing their revision or in general answer writing. So how they can manage their time in a better manner?
See, I feel that time management at this stage, your time should go only either into sleeping or into studying or the small breaks that you need. When you leave your table, maybe start a timer. Don't leave your table for more than 30 minutes to 45 minutes. That's the maximum. If you leave beyond that, then that guilt will go on building in your head. So I think first thing is don't leave your table for more than 30 to 45 minutes. Within that time, you figure out what you have to do and come back, except for sleeping obviously has, right? So this is one. So once you are on the table, then the next thing is you have to keep doing things. So you're either revising or you're writing. Revise, write, that's all you do. So if you go on doing this, your mind doesn't get time to think of anything else, right? So time management will happen, right? There's nothing else. Time management means nothing else but utilizing the time, and there are only two ways you can utilize your time right now: writing, revising, and not leaving your table for more than 30-45 minutes. That's it. I believe there's nothing better than this to do right now.
And I think this is the virtuous cycle that the aspirant for from now onwards can incorporate up to the mains examination.
Yes.
Sir. So, sir, any last piece of advice that you want to give to the aspirant?
See, the last piece of advice for me would be that right now, when you are in this whole process, whatever you do over the next 20 days is going to help you in this preparation this way or the other. Either these 20 days will ensure that you get selected. So just go on doing this. Even if they don't ensure that you get selected, at least they will give you or make you feel that those 20 days did matter because I did these things and they did help me in organizing myself better. So at least the benefit of these 20 days you can figure out. No matter what you have done in the past, but whatever you do in the next 20 days will have its effect, and you can, at the end of the result cycle, you will come to know, oh, I did these and they did help me. So probably in the next cycle, they might become more helpful, right? Because it's like UPSC, no one can guarantee you that you will get selected in this attempt itself, but at least it will help. So just do this, just count for these 20 days. You are in the middle of the battle, you must play this properly. Don't give it up no matter what.
Right. So I think as said in Bhagavad Gita that do your duty and let the result.
Every religious book says the same, that you just, and you have nothing else in your hand. Either you do your duty or you don't do your duty. If you don't do, you will regret. If you do, you will. So just work for those 20 days. Don't let them go like that.
Right. So, sir, thank you very much for joining us for this
Thank you,
special
sir.
session. And I think the student might have got a lot from this particular conversation regarding how to manage these 20 days in a better manner.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So with this, we came to an end to this particular conversational video. For more such conversational videos, stay tuned with VisionIAS. Thank you.